We're here at iDendron today. We'll be meeting a startup founder here at iDendron. Let's go. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having us here today.
I'm glad you're here. So you're here at the University of Hong Kong Entrepreneurship Center. It's called iDendron. It started out at exactly at the same time when we started out last year as a company. As an entrepreneurship center, what it does is it basically helps students and young alumni startups to get started and helps them grow. So at this spot, they have a lot of different sort of office areas for startups to build their teams, build their product. But at the same time, it gives you resources with access to the academia and the professors here for you to help, for you to get some help in terms of their knowledge, etc. Yeah, I mean that's where we have built PLANTO, and I'm really glad that we are located at this office.
That's great. Hi Ankit. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
Why don't you tell us about yourself and the company?
Sure. My name is Ankit. I came to Hong Kong in 2010 to study at the University of Hong Kong. I studied computer science, and after I graduated, I used to work at sort of HSBC as a management trainee. And then after working for a couple of years, working for about 4 years, I actually started my own company along with two of my friends called PLANTO. And what PLANTO does is, PLANTO is a personal financial management app. It's like a coach that helps people, talk about what are their goals that they want to achieve with their money. And then essentially does all of the complicated mathematics behind it and shows people a clear path or a clear guidance to what they need to do with their finances. And then they can link all of their accounts to the app so that they can stay in control towards their finances and goals.
Okay, great. For your introduction, why did you decide to start your own company, and why specifically in Fintech?
Right. So when I was in university, my experience sort of with banks were not so great. So I think to sort of learn how the banking works, I went into the banking world to try and figure out what's going on. So obviously with my experience in banking and sort of understanding of what people want, along with my co-founders as well, where we all come from sort of a personal finance industry and a banking industry, and in our interaction with a lot of people who sort of needed help trying to budget better, trying to save more, trying to think about how they can save towards maybe their kids, we felt that we could really make a good impact and really create a good technology solution to do that. So, and as it turned out, it was basically Fintech that I thought that can create true impact here in Hong Kong. So that's how we ended up starting a company.
Great.
Yeah.
How long has your entrepreneurial journey started for already? And could you tell us a bit about the pains and gains so far in your journey?
Sure. So it's just been slightly over a year since we started PLANTO. We started it in November 2017, and it was just three of us when we started. But in about a year, slightly more than a year, go faster. How can I do more, and how can I find more people to help the company in itself? And obviously, the gain is the fact that when you give your solution to people and it actually makes a true difference in their lives, and they give you feedback that it actually helps. I think that's the happiness, and that's sort of what we are trying to achieve in our own ways. So I think it's a great experience doing this, doing an entrepreneurial journey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's been a very interesting journey so far. I'm actually quite interested in how much mathematics is required in your startup and also within entrepreneurship.
So I think math is incredibly important, not just as part of sort of in my startup, but in general, because I think what math gives is a sense of problem solving, right? You're solving a problem when you do mathematics. So as it happens in PLANTO, we have to do a lot of mathematics because we calculate on behalf of people about what they should be doing with their finances. But in general, I think that the principles of mathematics, which is problem solving, is what we do each and every day, what everyone within the startup is doing each and every day. So I think it's the mathematics really that is happening in making a startup. It's constant mathematics. And even sort of things like, how much am I going to spend as a startup? How much money will I have in the future, profit loss, etc. You're
Right.
constantly thinking about these things as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a lot of math is involved. And have you always loved math? Did you study mathematics in college?
Yeah, I actually used to love mathematics in in sort of school, and carried that forward when I studied in university as well. Math was one of my actually the favorite subject in school, and actually the only subject in which I would top. Rest everything I wouldn't. And it was one of those subjects that I never really felt like as a kid I was studying. It just felt like I was just having a lot of fun doing it. Yeah.
But what did you major in university? Was it mathematics?
No, so it was actually computer science, closely linked. So computer science is also quite linked to mathematics that way.
Yeah.
Because you do a lot of math courses as well as part of it. But it wasn't pure mathematics, it was computer science.
Right. So, but how does mathematics prepare you for a career in computer science or entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so as I said, mathematics, the core of mathematics is sort of problem solving, right? So computer science as well is basically using a computer to solve a problem, and you need to tell the computer how to do it. And in a way, you are defining for the computer what the mathematics should be. So
it sounds like mathematics has played a very important part in your life so far. I'm curious to know, have you always loved mathematics? How did you build your confidence in math?
So yeah, I've always sort of loved mathematics since I was really, really young, and I think I built my confidence by really just practicing it. And I think mathematics is one of those things that I remember when I was sort of young, back then we just used to have sort of books, and at the back of the book would be the answer of the question. So when you sort of answer it and you look at the back and it's actually the right, it actually gives you a joy, and you want to do the next one. And I think it's that joy that continuously sort of I had when I would get a right answer.
Yeah.
And then I would want to do it again and I want to do more of it. So I think it's that continuous joy that I had while doing mathematics that I just continued doing it, and it helped my confidence as well.
Great. And did your parents play an important role? How did they support you in learning mathematics?
Yeah, so I think one of the ways that my parents played a huge role was that they never stopped me from actually. They always encouraged me to sort of buy whatever I wanted in terms of books or education material that it actually helped me get better at maths. And it was one of those things that I think my parents identified really early on, that being good at mathematics is really important. And also the fact that both my parents were also sort of engineers, so I think they realized that being good at mathematics also helps you holistically as a person as well, because again it goes down to problem solving, rationality, and these are sort of things that you need as you grow up in life as well. So I think my parents always just encouraged me to buy any sort of education material when it comes to mathematics.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you did buy a lot of mathematics books.
Yeah, because I used to love it.
Not comics.
I used to love it, so I bought a lot of mathematics books, and I always went for the thickest ones as well, because thickest ones just meant more questions.
Okay.
So and obviously I think my parents pretty much encouraged that.
So it seems like you like to learn mathematics through doing a lot of by practice and by textbooks. But what were some difficulties that you encountered, and what did you wish that you would have back then?
Yeah, I think the kind of level that I could understand as well, and I think that's what a book cannot provide you, because book is just basically a static form of text. So what I wished for, is that, if there was actually a lot more sort of interactive and adaptive ways of learning, which is basically what a teacher would do it for you, but then how would you do it at home by yourself? So I wish we had tools like this.
Great. But can you share some advice for young learners today in terms of how can they learn math, and also if they aspire to one day become an entrepreneur and build their own app, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, sure. So actually, it just goes back to my little secret that I actually enjoyed maths quite a lot, so I just continued doing it. So the advice that I have for everybody who wants to learn math is, find a tool, that can actually you enjoy learning maths with. So because unless you enjoy it, you're not going to be continuously learning it. So that's one of my biggest advice, is find a way to sort of enjoy that particular subject, because it's incredibly important as well. If you're good at math, chances are you will also become an entrepreneur in the future. So, or you'll have the right skill sets to do it. So right. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, we do see a lot of success stories. For example, in Silicon Valley, where a lot of entrepreneurs have very strong mathematical backgrounds.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's incredibly important, I think.
Yeah. Maybe one quick question about your plans for the future at PLANTO. Where do you envision yourselves being in maybe next 5 years?
Sure. So actually at PLANTO, what we think is that when it comes to answering simple questions that people have in life, for example, how can I plan for anything? Mm-hmm. Today, I think it's really hard to get answers to that. And more importantly, feeling in control of that future. Is that, have I made the right financial decision? Am I on track towards this future that I want for myself? Yeah. So in the next 5 years, we want to enable this for everyone across, not just here in Hong Kong, but across Asia.
Great.
Yeah.
I wish you all the success.
Thank you.